back to Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris on Florida Man Radio.
Heather said it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous because you're on the business end of that animal.
So, before our break, we were talking about castrating cows.
Yes, and we're still talking about castrating cows.
It's a fascinating subject.
You.
Yes, because it seems so dangerous and so barbaric, and but you've got a real good reason for doing it.
Yes, because the castration process, by getting rid of the testicles and the sac and the tube and all that, it slows down the massive amount of testosterone that is being pumped through that animal in order to make it a bull or a bar or a ram, depending on what animal it is. So you don't change their sex. You don't make them a girl. They're still a dude animal, a boy animal, but they just don't have as much testosterone pumping through their body, right? Because they don't have testicles anymore. So it's called steering them out. You made them a steer.
Steering them out.
Yeah, so you got...
What were they before they were a steer?
Bulls.
Okay, gotcha.
Bulls have balls. Steers have...
None.
Clears.
No, that's not how that goes.
Doesn't rhyme. Looks like out in Texas, it's only steered and queered in Texas. I don't even understand that statement, but that's
that doesn't make sense.
That's what they say. Only 2 types of
So there are
people
no
in Texas.
balls in Texas?
Steers and queers.
So there's no balls in Texas?
No balls. The dudes ain't even got balls, let alone the animals.
Don't tell Shannon.
So on a pig, it would be going from a boar hog to a bar when you take their testes out. From a boar to a bar. And I'm not going to bore you with all the names of all the animals, but...
I've never heard the name bar. I have never heard of a bar.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds no, ever.
Yeah, it's just if you go to a hog ring and you're buying hogs at the hog auction, people ask, is that a cut bar or that a boar? And you know that's just what it is, That's the way it works.
But a bar's always going to be cut.
A bar is a cut boar.
Right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And again, you do it to slow down the testosterone and have less testosterone so the meat is softer, tenderer. It allows more fat to marble, right? Allows you to get a little more fat in that meat. So it's just a nicer, better, sweeter, softer tasting piece of meat. Just the way it works. That's why we do it. We try not to eat nothing with nuts.
Except nuts.
Except nuts. You eat nuts? Are you a nut eater? Are you a nutter? What else were we doing that we were talking about? Oh, kind of like it. Okay. No, I want to talk about that. Okay. I want to ask you a question because we talked about earlier before the show. I was asking about Hegseth and
about what?
The guy Hegseth. The article read Trump leaves Hegseth in the wind or defend for himself against the rough GOP Senate. And you made a comment about DeSantis may step in.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get rid of the Hegseth guy, and
I thought he was already appointed. I thought he already made confirmation.
Okay, I can't even spell it. My understanding was that they were trying to get DeSantis into the spot that he was going into.
Okay, all right, and then you said,
"Oh, I said that would be bad if DeSantis took a spot in his cabinet because then he couldn't run for.
It'll lessen his opportunity to run for president."
Right.
And I said he'll never be president of the United States of America.
And I think that's I don't know if he ever will. I think he would make a great president.
I think his time has come and gone.
Possibly.
Because his time was not ready yet. So you say I'm the only one that feels this way, but I disagree.
I'm sure you're not the only one.
DeSantis made us all a promise when he was running against Charlie Crist. He said that he will be a governor for the entire term. He is only focused on Florida. He committed to Florida. He said his ambitions at the White House were put off. And then the stuff started with Trump, and it looked like there was blood in the water. So every effing Republican jumped in to try to make a run for it, hoping they'd be the one that knocked off Trump and be the golden child of the Republican Party, DeSantis included. Okay?
Okay.
And he ran against Trump. He ran against everybody else. He ran his campaign, and he failed miserably. And I think part of that is...
Well, he didn't win. Did he fail?
He
didn't win.
He had to withdraw. He didn't even make it to the final. I don't know. He wasn't the first one to pull out, but he had to pull out. And nobody likes somebody who pulls out.
That's not true.
I want you to stay in the race.
Anyway.
Stay in the race.
But what's interesting is about this Hegseth, not Hegseth, Pete Hegseth.
Right.
All the things I've seen about him, the media is destroying him for drinking. And maybe he has a drinking problem. Maybe he doesn't. But like that is a weird thing to pull out of the air because you think all those lawmakers aren't like hitting up the bars after
Nancy Pelosi is a walk around drunk.
So why? I don't understand why they're all worrying about that so much.
Because they don't have.
That's a character flaw that they can embrace.
But they don't have policy or things to go after. So they find anything they can find to try to besmirch a human being when you're not on their team.
Yeah.
It's the smear campaign politics we have in America is disgusting. It absolutely
it's
is.
bullying. It is elementary school bullying. It is.
Okay. All right. I got a different word for it, but that's fine. We'll go with bullying because it's radio and we want to keep it clean. But it's disgraceful. It's like you can't beat the person on best man up. So we're going to, bullying. You're right. So we're going to talk about everything we can that doesn't matter to get you to dislike this person because we can't beat them in a straight up one-on-one fight.
I mean, after high school, I think everyone goes through a stage that they'd like to forget. So you could probably pull that up on anybody.
Yes, that's why when I run in 32, the first thing I'm going to do is make public everything I've ever done. Everything.
All right.
Amy knows everything about me. There's nothing that I've done from a child to now that she does not know about. We've talked about my entire past. The good, the bad, the ugly, the not so bad, the really worse, the stuff that nobody else knows about.
All right.
So when I run, we're gonna talk about it all, and then what else do you got to talk about? Leave me alone. Let me run my race. And that's for like my city commission spot in Lake Mary.
Do you really want to spill it all out there for Lake Mary?
I'm going to spill it all.
All of it. Okay.
I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a tell-all. I'm going to write a tell-all before I run for office.
Tell all about me so that you may have to do some amendments when people start pulling out things that they remember.
No, I'm gonna write it all down. It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be this is what happened. My version of reality. That's what I'll call it. My version of reality by Jonathan Morris. Write that down. Somebody get started on the front page for me. But I feel like DeSantis lied and let us all down in Florida. And I feel like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know how y'all think about it. I feel like he couldn't carry Florida in a presidential race. I just don't think he can. Even though he's a great governor and he's been fantastic, I think once you've crossed the line of you lied to people to their face, we voted for you. Not that we were going to vote for Charlie Crist anyway, but we voted for you and you lied. You lied on the main thing we were worried about. Can we count on you for 4 years, or are you going to run off and leave us a couple years in to fend for ourselves? Now, he's come back, and he's doing a great job, but he was forced to come back. My question is this. If he
really hate the fact that he said he wouldn't
I hate the fact that he lied about it. Okay, that's what I hate. I hate the fact that he bold-faced lied to us, and then instead of saying, yeah, I lied to y'all, I'm sorry, I got to take my shot.
Can't people change their mind?
Not when you're running for a campaign. When you run on a promise, then you get in the office, you can't be like, I changed my mind, I'm not running on that anymore. It's like, no, we voted for you, you promised. So you have to at least fulfill your promise. You can change your mind, but honor your word, or come out and be like, hey, everybody, listen, I know I said I was going to run for 4 years. I built a cabinet. I have a team of people that are going to be here. I'm still going to be involved. I'm still going to be watching everything, but I'm going to be all over the country trying to run for president. Do I have your support? Give us the opportunity. And that's the problem. That's the problem with America. We vote these people in. They work for us. But then we have this broken system where they feel like they are in a power, they are in authority, and they can do whatever the hell they want to do, and we just have to take it. That's what pisses me off. Because if I hired you, or just like this, you work for the family, helping me do production, and you agree to this, and then I find out our work's not getting done for whatever reason, and we can't keep up with schedule, and stuff's not getting done, and then I find out that you're spending 20 hours a week doing somebody else's work. You would no longer have a job. Right? So how can you be our governor? We hire you as our governor. We elect you as our governor. And now you're going to spend 70% of your time out campaigning for another job. Or if every time I called you and said, hey, Heather, we got to meet at this time, you're like, oh, no, I'm applying for a job over here. Oh, okay. And then tomorrow, hey, I'm going to be late because I'm applying for a job over here. And then Friday, hey, I'm not going to be able to make the show or Saturday because I'm applying for a job over here. And then when you don't get all your jobs, you come back like, yay, I'm so glad and proud and happy to be here. And I'm like, screw you, get out of here. That's what DeSantis did. He's been applying. He was applying. And I know this is old news, right? He was applying for another job instead of doing the job we hired him to do. And that's something I can't get past.
I get it.
Now, if it came down to him and Bernie Sanders in 28, not that it's going to come out of that, but or if it's him and Buttigieg, or whoever the Democrats put up, of course, I would vote for whoever the Republicans put up over a Democrat. I just would, unless it was a really strong independent. But I got a problem with it. I don't think the GOP will ever get behind him again. The other day, you started some controversy on on one of our pages.
I did?
Yeah, this whole Joe Biden pardoning his son thing, and the way you kind of said it, I had to go back and watch, and I had to tell one guy you were just trying to be funny, and he was like, not really. She was very serious. The way you kind of said it was like as if it doesn't matter. It didn't matter what Joe Biden said, that he said he would not pardon his son. You made a comment about, well, what we expect is his son. I would pardon my son. Wouldn't anybody pardon their son?
Well, that goes back to being able to change your mind. I mean, granted, he said about this specifically over and over that he would not. But, I mean, he was screwed so many times by the Democratic Party. Why not, on his way out, take the napkin? You know what I mean? And that's what he did.
But I don't understand that statement. And I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to understand. What does have to do being screwed by the Democrats have to do with him pardoning his son? Because pardoning his son is a very Democratic thing to do. I'm a Democrat liberal.
I wasn't saying he was changing his party.
Right, but why? But pardoning his son, how does that screw the Democrats? It doesn't. It just pisses off the Republicans.
And he's like, I'm going to get something out of this as I leave. As I walk out the door, I'm getting something out of this because y'all have given me nothing. Y'all have screwed me over on my future. I mean, he should be retired. Don't get me wrong. He's kind of old.
Right. But he ain't doing no book deals.
Right. Well, he might.
Come on.
Somebody else would write it and he would just approve it. Come on. That's how they do that. Somebody else would write. Do you think any of these people write their own biographies?
I think Barack wrote his own.
That would be an autobiography, right?
I don't know. I'm not a reader. Okay, so what you're saying is y'all screwed me out of my campaign money. You screwed me out of having any power to make any deals after I leave the White House.
Y'all might not have given him any power those 4 years he was in the White House.
Because, Barack Obama still does backdoor deals, and Clinton still has pull, and Bush still has pull. Every ex-president has some type of power.
Oh, my gosh.
They carry a little
so
weight.
Much money just giving speeches.
Yeah, they carry some weight with them. So you're saying that the Democrats diminished Joe, and by the way, clarity, we're not standing up for Joe Biden.
No.
We're not standing up for the guy on the radio show. But what you're trying to say is they ran him so down to net zero, his net worth or his stock options, that he's like, you know what? This is something you can't take from me. I had the power to pardon anybody I want to on my way out. I'm pardoning my son as an FU to the system.
Pretty much.
Because you've taken everything else. You took my choice, you took my vote, you took my decision, you took everything. And there's some people saying that Kamala was never supposed to be up, but that Joe found out what was going on, and he beat everybody to the microphone when he endorsed her several hours later, that if he hadn't have done that, they couldn't walk that back because the President of the United States endorsed somebody. They couldn't walk it back. They were saying that Kamala was not the person. That everybody was surprised by that. I don't know if that's a conspiracy or if that's truth, but I heard that. That that was a Joe kind of doing an FU move to him when he found out that they were like, Joe, you got to step down now. He's like, oh, okay, all right, I got to. I'm going to endorse Kamala Harris. I don't know. But I understand. I don't agree with Hunter being pardoned. And as a father, it's easy to say right now, but if my son was in the situation, as a father, I don't know if I'd pardon him or make him face his sentence or make him face something. A complete pardon is one thing, but being able to say, like, hey, we're going to modify this, get it kicked down a little bit where he doesn't spend 15 years in prison. But the dude screwed the government out of $1.4 million in taxes. You understand there's not another person walking the planet? If you have $1.4 million in unpaid taxes, you're going to federal prison. Or they're going to seize your house, take your cars, take your land, take your businesses, shut down your bank accounts.
I wonder if he put everything in his father's name.
That's the problem I have. It sets the standard of the IRS should not be able to come after anybody ever again. You just waived off a $1.4 million debt deficit in taxes. That's fraud. It's not like, hey, man, I messed up my books and I'm off by 80 grand.
That's money we could have sent to the Ukraine.
Dad, gummit. We'll be right back. Show me the break.
Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split.